So, can everyone hear me okay? Like, is everyone able to hear me okay? Is something wrong, chat? Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. In tonight's stream, I'm going to be reacting to I guess I should say, this is day 4 of the FNAF 10-year anniversary week. Like I said, every single day, or night, whatever, I'm going to be streaming the new announcements and everything for FNAF. Today, I'm going to be reacting to the Dawko and Scott Cawthon interview. That released today, and afterwards I'm going to be playing the Joy of Creation and finally hopefully beat the office level, because I'm pretty sure there was a patch released earlier today where the bug with the crashing on the one monitor was fixed, so that's good. But yeah, that's about it, and I guess I should jump right into reacting to the interview between Scott Cawthon and Dawko. I should say this is the 2.0 interview, since they already did one a few years back for whenever Dawko beat 50/20 mode on UCN.
Scott, tell me.
Wait, I guess, yeah, let's start.
Scott!
Is my stream delayed? Because someone just responded with no to something I said a few minutes ago. So I think the stream might be a little bit delayed.
Scott, tell me what's in the box.
Wait, so might be a little delayed. I think all my streams might be a little bit delayed. But bro is already asking Scott Cawthon what's in the box.
I think as the 10-year anniversary is upon us, I will give this as my gift to the fan base on this 10th anniversary. What's in the box is...
So he's just gonna say what's in the box? What? Okay, is everyone able to hear the video? She need to check. Alright. Please do not send messages like that in the chat. Please do not say anything like that in the chat. This chat is family friendly, and that is most definitely not appropriate to say in this chat. Alright, let's get back to watching this. Family friendly-ish.
Aww. Hi, Mabel.
Okay, please don't give spoilers for what's in the thing, like what's in the actual interview. Please don't give spoilers. I haven't seen it, and I want everything in this to be like completely spoiler free.
Oh.
Yeah, she's the best. What's going on, guys? Dawko back again. Hope you're fantastic today. And it's the 10-year anniversary of Five Nights at Freddy's. It is August the 5th, which means if you've been looking at the list, what the official Twitter has been saying, it's the interview with Scott Cawthon.
He said it's August 5th. I bet after 10 years I would forget too.
Everybody.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Dawko, good to see you again.
Yes, 6 years since the last interview, right? Which is crazy. A lot of things have been happening since then, so let's go back a little bit. So the interview was August 2018. So after that, we got Help Wanted, Special Delivery, Security Breach.
Dang, we got a lot of stuff in 6
Ruin
years.
DLC, so there's a lot going on. And of course, the future games as well. Yesterday, Steelwall has announced something.
Okay, I know this was recorded before Scott Cawthon changed the schedule, but that's pretty funny. Today's the 4th, so Steelwall hasn't announced anything yet. They're going to be announcing something in like 2 days. But
I don't know what it is yet because we recorded this, a couple of months before. But guys, whatever it was, I hope you're very excited.
Opinion on 5 Laps at Freddy's. The game looks really fun. It looks like Mario Kart, but FNAF, and it looks really fun.
Like a week of exciting things for the 10-year anniversary.
It looks like a really good game.
We've
I'm
never
excited to
seen
play the
something like
demo
this
on the
before.
7th.
10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's, which is it's pretty crazy, right?
Man, I can't believe it's been so long since our last interview. That really seems like just it doesn't. How long did you say ago it was? 6 years ago? That's hard to believe. That's impossible to believe.
I know, right? I've actually got a song for you that I'm going to play for you to celebrate the 10-year anniversary.
Okay, no, this is getting things off to a kind of an awkward start, but I'll let you go on ahead.
Okay. Are you
ready?
ready?
Wait, you're going to be performing? Wait, you're going to be performing this yourself, or is something recorded?
I've got the harmonica right here.
Oh, a harmonica. Okay, my favorite.
I've been practicing this song for over 32 years. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Come on now, you started this.
Right. Okay. Ready? I'm really good. I'm really good.
Wow. Beautiful.
Now, I will admit that I couldn't actually hear that. I don't know if your thing was cutting the audio out.
Well, I actually played a spell.
Oh.
The spell is from 1864 by a wizard named...
I hope the collab is Fortnite.
Screwy.
I hope that he says something about collabs in this. I think people have said that in this interview, Scott Cawthon did say something about collabs, but I hope the collab is Fortnite tomorrow. Like the announcement is for a Fortnite collab tomorrow.
Oh, jeez. Now, I thought we talked about this in advance. Now, listen.
Dead by Daylight would be cool as well, but Fortnite...
This is a bad idea to start talking about... All right, well, here, you have to give me specific questions, and I'll see what I can
character in Fort? Hopefully all of them, just like the main band with Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. But the glam rocks would be cool,
I make
too.
no promise.
Maybe some of the movie characters, too.
Tell me what's in the box.
He's already asking that?
Wow, just direct. Just out and direct, just like that.
Yeah.
Well, look, okay.
Here we go.
It's the 10-year anniversary, okay? And even though I like to be elusive, I like to kind of tease the fan base, I like to... And I do like there to be an air of mystery about things. Sometimes I do let things go on for too long. And I understand that sometimes things become not fun anymore and things can become frustrating for theorists. So, okay. I think as the 10-year anniversary is upon us,
it would be a little bit weird
give this
for them
as my,
to add Freddy to Dead by Daylight because they got that one killer.
As my gift to the fan base on this 10th anniversary. What's in the box is...
What is it? An ad.
Stare all you want, but I
Are
won't
you
let you
kidding
touch
me?
my tail.
Oh my god.
And that's about it. And that's it, man.
So like we've been speaking about, 10 years
Are you
of Five
kidding
Nights
me?
at Freddy's, which is a crazy amount of time. I can't believe we're still here. It's been such a journey. So I just wanted to ask you, do you have a highlight moment for the whole 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's since 2014?
I think there have definitely been a lot of satisfying moments. Like obviously, if whenever one of the new games would come out and it would be positively received, that was obviously a huge relief. You know, there's never been any goal other than just giving everybody what they were really hyped up about. Because you know, when you see everybody getting hyped up and getting excited, if suddenly something comes out that just is a big letdown, there's no greater fear, I think, for a game developer. So that was always satisfying and a relief. But I think the biggest highlight was probably just going to the movie theater to watch the movie when it finally came out, because you know, behind the scenes of all of the games throughout the years.
Please don't swear in the chat, but yeah, if it's Stumble Guys, that would be terrible. I'm hoping that it's not Stumble Guys. Hold up 1 second.
And behind the scenes of all the books being written and everything else, there was always the movie. The movie was just a slow burn project, even just starting as late as 2014. So that has been in the background, being, you know, progressing for almost the entirety of that. No, not almost the entirety of that first 9 years. So to be able to actually go sit in the theater and hear the reaction from everybody and hear the fans really enjoy it, that was definitely that was definitely a moment of just real happiness for me, I think.
Literally 9 years, you know, having ups and downs, you know, getting the script right as well. I know you've said on post before you've had
something completely random like Animal Crossing or Minecraft. That would be pretty funny, but at the same time, I hope it's something like Fortnite or even Dead by Daylight. Animal Crossing would be incredibly random, but Minecraft would make some amount of sense.
Scripts made for the movie. The plushies in Manhattan or something. That was one of the scripts.
Fazbear and Smash.
Yeah, I can imagine how
Freddy Fazbear and Smash Bros would be amazing as well. I've actually never played Smash Bros, but I guess I'd have a reason to.
Because I'm not you, but you know, when me, Raz, and Ryan and Baz went to a premiere for it and sat down at the cinemas, and we all looked at each other at the end, and we had to we couldn't believe it, and we didn't even make the games. We've been there since, you know, basically day one, but we all said, like, imagine how Scott's feeling right now, you know, just sitting down and seeing it actually, you know, on the big screen. It must be a crazy feeling.
Yeah, and now that I've been through the process, you know, I can tell you it's a miracle that any movie gets made, just being through that process, just how many wheels have to be turning at the same time, and how many things. And even though this process took a long time for me, you know, Hollywood works at just blazing speed, where there's 100 things happening at the same time, and it's a miracle if these things get coordinated. And sometimes things don't work out, but sometimes they do. On the day that I was driving to New Orleans,
Scott Cawthon not showing
and the
his
shooting
face.
Was supposed to start.
He shows his face in sorry. He shows his face in pictures sometimes, and then there was the one time he had a video. There was a video of him, which was in the MatPat, like MatPat's retirement video. But other than that, Scott Cawthon usually doesn't show his face, especially on interviews like this.
Next day, on that drive, I was on the phone. It was like a 5-hour drive from where I was. I was on the phone the entire time trying to finish contracts and finish negotiating points, because there were still open items with there were still things that needed to be resolved with Universal, Blumhouse, the Actors Guild, the Writing Guild. There were just Louisiana. There were all of these things, and any one of them not being settled properly would mean we couldn't start filming. And all of those conversations were happening at the same time, and all of them.
I hope it's not that Roblox game, because we already know what that is. But I'm gonna be right back, chat. Not feeling great, so I'll be right back. I'm not ending stream. I'm just going to take a break for just a quick second. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I felt a little bit sick. And yeah, I had to go for just a second. I'm back. Yeah, everything's okay. I just felt a little bit sick. I'm fine though. Let's get back to watching the interview.
Start filming, and all of those conversations were happening at the same time, and all of them depended on one.
Oh, there's another ad. This time for Apex.
My favorite part.
One of the other ones.
All right.
And so that was a very stressful drive, but that's just the way that Hollywood works. There's a million things happening at once. It was definitely a whirlwind, but to see all of those pieces come into place, it was pretty remarkable. And yeah, like you were saying, just all of the scripts, starting just with 2015.
Play the in real time 6 hours on stream. I might play in real time on stream. I'll think about it. I gotta listen carefully to see if I can catch any hints of the collab. He's not talking about the collab right now. I think he does. I think I've seen multiple people say he does talk about it, like later on. But right now he's talking about the movie and the production process during the movie.
You know, there were a couple of deals that weren't very good that I'm very fortunate didn't pan out. But then whenever I was with Warner Brothers briefly, that was a good deal, and I was very, very grateful to have that. But even that, whenever the stars seemed to have aligned, things just didn't work out there either. And so I was really fortunate to meet up with Jason Blum and get to have that deal with Blumhouse. You know, they had a lot of faith in the project, and they were following my lead on a lot of things. You know, sometimes to a fault.
So you worked with a few movie studios and
throw things out and want to start over.
The best one that you worked with was Blumhouse. Okay.
They were with me the whole journey. They were with me and they believed in the vision.
I remember the Warner Bros. One, and they were already like doing work with the animatronics and stuff, but it seems like Blumhouse was definitely the better choice.
Had the fans at heart. That's all anybody wanted to do. Everybody was just making sure that every part of the movie would be something that the fan base would
rate the movie out of 10. I'd say the movie is easily like a 9, almost 10 out of 10. Obviously because of nostalgia and stuff like that. But I just thought the movie was good overall. Like the animatronics were well made, the nostalgia and cameos and stuff were good. But overall rate the movie like a 9 or a 10. I know it's a little bit high for most people, but I personally really like the movie.
Would look at and recognize or relate to or connect with. And I think in the end, we were able to accomplish that. And I'm just really happy with that. And I think we landed with just the perfect cast, which, again, that almost didn't happen either. There were a couple of instances.
You got to make a list of your stream game recommendations. You got Pizza Tower, In Real Time, and Ban. I was thinking maybe playing, like, Doom or Spider-Man or something on stream. I'll add that to the stream list of games that I should play.
Where someone else was about to get a part, and then something would happen that would make that not work out, and then someone better would step in. And I've said,
like I said, whenever I reach 1,000 subs, that's when I'll do
numerous times over this last 6 months, even since the movie came out, thinking, aren't we glad that we got like Josh Hutcherson for this role?
I told him you need to do all of them in one stream. Yeah, like I said, I'll do that whenever I reach 1,000 subs.
Like, isn't it great we had Elizabeth Lale for this role? Isn't it awesome we had Matthew Lillard for this role? You know, isn't it great we ended up with Piper Rubio for this role? Like, every single person that we ended up with was just absolutely perfect in those slots, and everybody was just a delight to work with. Once again, since I'm new to kind of the film industry, I got to talk to people about their other experiences on other projects, and it can be really scary.
Yeah, Matthew Lillard
usually, from what I understand, every production has one member
Josh
of the cast or
Hutcherson,
one person on staff.
Josh Hutcherson did a really good job as... Josh Hutcherson also did a really good job as Mike Schmidt. Literally killed it, yeah. Every single actor in the movie did an amazing job. Even the like cameo actors like Matt Patton and Corey Kenshin did a really good job.
Staff or just one person that, you know, causes problems or something like that. We didn't have anything like that. Nothing like that. Everybody was just phenomenal. They were just a joy to work with, and getting to go to filming was really fun. So it was a really fun experience. And in the end, I'm just happy that the fans were happy with it. Now, that's not to say the film didn't have it's places where it could have been improved, and we're all, and me and Emma and Jason Blum, we're definitely chat about that and looking to make sure the second movie is a step up and an improvement. So lots of good things to look forward to.
Being named Ness is diabolical. The whole Matt Pat Ness thing was a reference to his Sans' Ness theory. And alright, okay, everyone, last prediction. Who's the new collab tomorrow? New collab? I thought we were all still on the same page that it's Fortnite still. Please, if you already watched the interview with Scott Cawthon, please don't spoil anything for what he says. If he says anything about the collab, don't mention it in chat. This is my first time watching it. Oh, you did.
I think.
Yeah, it's exciting, and yeah, you're right about the fan reaction.
My last prediction is FNAF.
We all can't wait for the next movie.
It's
so exciting.
Okay, I messed it up. My last prediction is He doesn't say it. Don't worry. Okay. My last prediction is Fortnite. If he hints at Fortnite in this, that would be great. But FNAF collaborating with FNAF. Scott Cawthon says it's going to be GTA 6. You know what? Scott Cawthon would do something crazy like that with FNAF. That just seems like something Scott Cawthon would do.
And I'm so glad, it's actually happening as well. So yeah, exciting times. So yeah, you said that you've got a highlight of the 10 years of FNAF.
Freddy running from the cops at high speeds.
If you could go back and change one thing in those 10 years, do you have anything that you would change? You can't say the box.
No, the one thing I would change, I wish I could go back and have one more shot at FNAF World. I really, really do.
Ban 498 will come out in the next 4 months.
Would probably definitely be the oddball.
Yeah, the Ban games were being pumped out like crazy. They were releasing one like every week. It was crazy. Now, are they of the highest quality? No. But it's still crazy that they were releasing it like every week or like every month. Plus, they somehow got the two YouTubers, and Think Noodles to have cameos in the game.
All in the series, no doubt. And maybe it would still have been a poor decision in general, but there were just a lot of bad...
Poppy Playtime did have cameos. Like it had the CG5 Sleep Well song, and Ban looks like a Roblox game from 2009. But Poppy Playtime did have a few cameos, like Jacksepticeye and CG5. And then there were also a few other references like Markiplier and stuff.
Decision. Maybe it would still have been
what did he say?
I know it still would probably definitely be the really do.
That you would change. You can't say the box.
All really do.
Box.
No, the one thing I would change, I wish I could go back and have one more shot at FNAF World. I really, really do.
He still regrets making FNAF World?
I know it still would probably definitely be the oddball in the series, no doubt.
FNAF World's amazing,
maybe it would still have been a poor decision in general, but there were just a lot of bad decisions made at the beginning of that project that doomed it from the start. Like I was making it with mobile in mind. So really
they did say that Chapter 4 was going to be releasing faster, and maybe even at the start of 2025. So they have been pushing it. They have been trying to push out the chapters faster. FNAF World is goated, yeah. FNAF World is probably my favorite FNAF game. With Ruin, if including DLCs, Ruin is better, but my favorite game, besides DLCs, is FNAF World.
I was thinking about it as a game on the phones. I tried to make the whole game on one frame and click Team Fusion. That just means I wasn't allowing it to be as big as it could have been. I was trying to cram it all together for my own convenience.
Yeah, Poppy definitely
there were just several decisions.
Chapter 3, like the game was really good, like pretty good for Chapter 1 and 2, but Chapter 3 made it way better, like overall. Chapter 3 is easily the best chapter of Poppy Playtime. Back to FNAF.
Were made. that really hindered that. And also, I was in a rush because I was getting a little arrogant, thinking that, hey, anything I make is going to be gold, and I definitely ate some humble pie with that really, really quick.
Yeah,
and
I wish the chapters came out a little bit sooner too, but at the same time, waiting is better so that the devs have enough time to make the game as perfect as it can be.
And so I've tried to be very careful
Welcome
not to
to
make
the
that
stream,
mistake
Tiffany.
again after that.
If you are just joining,
if
I
could go
am
back and change
watching
one
the
thing,
Scott
I wish I
Cawthon
could
interview
maybe
with
work with a
Dawko.
different developer.
Like I
and
said
just
before,
really make it
if you have already watched the stream, do not spoil it. This is my first time watching it, so yeah. But I'm gonna get back to watching
a high resolution game, getting some really good graphics. Maybe get someone else to help me with those graphics. And it could have been a good game. Who knows? Maybe somewhere down the line, if I get really antsy about it and have a lot of free time on my hands, maybe FNAF 2 or FNAF World 2 might be a thing.
Yeah.
What? Oh my God! Scott says Trevor from GTA 5 is possessing Golden Freddy 100% real. Did he just say something about FNAF World 2?
And have a lot of free time on my hands. Maybe FNAF 2 or FNAF World 2 might be a thing.
What? This is amazing. He's considering making a FNAF World 2. That is great.
I was going to say that, you could still get a different company to do a FNAF World game. It's not over yet. I think I've said this to you before. I love FNAF World. I think it is so underrated, and I always say FNAF World is underrated. I love it so much. There's just a charm to it. I really do. And I know you don't like it, but I absolutely love it, man. I really do. I love everything
I wonder
about
what the
it.
Steel Wool announcement on the 6th is going to be.
If I had allowed myself
like,
to
I always say, whenever, like, for the Steel Wool announcement, I keep saying it's going to be Carnival. It's going to be the Carnival, but I honestly really want to know what the announcement from Steel Wool on the 6th is going to be.
One more year, just like really double its development cycle and
Maybe
let it be a high-res game. I bet
DLC.
it would have really been something. But like I said, who knows? Maybe for the sequel someday.
Let's move on to Steel Wool.
I guess they're
the
already
Steel
moving on to that.
Studios. That was the next game after Ultimate Custom Night. Help Wanted. One of my favourite games in
Yeah, FNAF
VR.
World really
I
has a
absolutely
like
loved it. What has
great
it been
art style, like a
working
cute
with
art
Steel
style
Wool?
and stuff.
Were you nervous about it? Because I know it's a big thing to give a company your baby basically and let them do what you've been doing for the past 5 years. How was it for the first time letting someone else work on FNAF?
I was really nervous about it. I was really nervous. I went several years still doing it by myself, even after I had the financial ability to pay other people. Again, I wasn't in that mentality of being able to do that. So even though I could have done that, I was still doing things just all by myself, all the way through Pizzeria Simulator.
Yeah.
But by then it was I knew that it was getting too much for me. I knew that I had to find another partner for it.
I wonder if
and
he's going to talk about
because,
the
there are stories all over the internet available about just games that went completely wrong because of games being mismanaged in the hands of development companies. And I'm sure that all of their pitches on the surface would have sounded the same, but I really got lucky. For that reason, I really feel like I got lucky, because whereas I probably could have accidentally ended up with a company that did botch something, I didn't. I think I really honestly believe that I landed with the best. And
Steel Wool is definitely the best, like one of the better. Steel Wool did great with all the games. They made Security Breach, and Security Breach did release like buggy and stuff at first, but whenever they updated it after all the updates, and then whenever Ruin came out, the game was overall just amazing. And Help Wanted and Help Wanted 2 were also great. And hopefully, whatever they're going to announce in 2 days is even better.
One of the best development companies. They've been just a pleasure to work with.
Best Fazbear Fright story. I haven't actually read all the Fazbear Fright stories.
So much
I've
fun.
read some of them, and for my favorites that I've read, it's probably out of stock. But honestly, don't know all the Fazbear Fright stories. Visual wise, Security Breach is probably my fave. So bright and pretty and colorful. Ruin is definitely my favorite because it takes some of the problems that Security Breach had, and it fixed them basically. It made the game scarier. The game wasn't as open, like open world or whatever. It's not really open world, but like as big of an open space. So it's more linear. It was way scarier. It's easily my favorite FNAF game. Besides, obviously, FNAF World. And everyone else, the FNAF World is amazing. Except for apparently Scott Cawthon, I guess.
And I think that might be one of the. I think that might be my favorite thing that they've made was Ruin, and the things that they have planned,
See,
which I'm not going to talk about right here. But the things that they have planned are really exciting too. So yeah, I've been really happy. It's been a really good experience. Well, I'll tell you, on Help Wanted, I was going to throw in. I'm happy with how Help Wanted came out.
The Joy Creation is also really
and I don't
good.
have this
Joy
anymore. I don't have the
Creation
3D.
is really good
I don't
so
have a
far.
VR setup anymore. But whenever the first Help Wanted came out, I did have a VR setup. So I was able to beta test. And of course, I was leading the charge to want to beta test my own games. I got into the Funtime Auditorium and Funtime, and I noped out of it. I took the headset off, and I immediately got on the phone with Steel One and said, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to test it. You test it. You're going to test it. You'll find someone else to test it. I didn't even get jump scared by Foxy. I was just in there in the darkness, and I knew
That was Security Breach's biggest problem. Too much space, not enough to do with it. Yeah, there were a lot of spaces in Security Breach that they didn't like work with, or most of the spaces were empty or whatever. So they definitely fixed that by not having as much space to work with in Ruin. Also, Scott Cawthon was so scared by Help Wanted he didn't even finish beta testing it. That is hilarious.
I wasn't going to do it, and I never played it again. And I never played Help Wanted, and I never played Help Wanted 2 either. And I'm not going to.
People need to understand it though, right? Because in the past, like when I've obviously done videos on Help Wanted 1 and 2, I get a comment saying like,
I guess Vanny and Burn Trap weren't bad. Vanny didn't have enough screen time, and that was her main problem. But Burn Trap wasn't. He wasn't even the canon ending, so he wasn't really intended to be as like a big part of the game. He wasn't intended to be that. Although I have heard people say that Scott Cawthon does mention more about Burn Trap in the interview. I don't know exactly what he says about anything. I just know that he mentions these specific things, like something to do with the collab and Burn Trap. So, want to know what he says about.
It's not that scary. You're
Burn Trap.
overreacted. It's not that bad. But you don't know until you've literally put on the headset, right?
Yeah.
It's completely different, just watching it from a screen compared to having the actual headset on. It's terrifying.
Yeah, completely different experience.
My other question.
Yeah, Help Wanted 2 is
Glitch
terrifying.
Trap is one of my favourite characters in FNAF now. I absolutely love Glitch Trap. What are your thoughts on Glitch Trap as a whole?
Welcome to the stream, Turtle Baby. If you are just joining the stream,
I love the character.
If you are just joining the stream, I am reacting to Dawko's interview with Scott Cawthon. If you have already seen it, don't spoil it. And yeah, I like when you can unlock different endings in games. It makes it feel so much more interactive. Yeah, I like whenever games have multiple endings. It's better whenever games make it clear which ending is canon, because that was another main problem with Security Breach was that all the endings could have been canon, and we just didn't know until Ruin came out. I'm doing good, and how are you, Turtle Baby? And, I don't know what I was going to say.
And I know that this is kind of one of the places where I know that there's a little bit of a divide with maybe me and the fan base, or maybe just within the fan base, because I always lean sci-fi. I have a tendency to lean sci-fi, even though I try to come back into the roots of the supernatural instead. But I can't help my inclinations to lean sci-fi. So anything that involves possession of AI or possession of machines or circuitry, I love that sort of thing. So I love the idea of Glitch Trap. I'm not a huge fan of the name. And here's the way that these things happen.
Is he going to mention
and it's happened with
Glitch Trap is the mimic? Oh, he's saying Burn Trap. Wait, what?
Whenever I'm in the planning phase with Steel Wool, we come up with temporary names for these characters, so whenever we're doing the pre-production document, I'll say, oh, well, he's glitchy, we'll call him Glitch Trap. Oh yeah, he's Burn. We'll just call him Burn Trap. But then those names get embedded in the source code because they use those temporary names also. And once they're in the source code, and once someone finds them in the source code, that's it. Like that's the canon name now, and there's nothing I can do about it. And hopefully we're learning our lessons going forward to maybe find. I don't know, to just hone in on a better process there, because yes, I love the character. Not a huge fan of the name, but it is what it is.
Springtrap got burned it's so much that he is now Burn Trap.
It's the name.
Hey, he's not Springtrap though. He's the Mimic.
Could you think of a name like on the spot, like what you
Glitch
would
Trap and
want
Burn
to call
Trap
him or not?
Pretty sick
I have
names
no
to be
idea.
just
But you know what?
accidentally
A good
named.
example is
Yeah, they do have really cool names, just I guess that wasn't going to be their final names. As we now know, it was the Mimic. Yeah, I also think that Burn Trap is the Mimic. I'm pretty sure it is, or it's already been confirmed to be canon that it's the Mimic.
Nexus, from Ruin.
Huh?
Now, that was a character where, even in just my design of the game, I thought that through, and I came up with that. And I'm really happy with it. I really like that name. It's a really cool name. But now, see, if I didn't have one of those ready to fire off, I might have thought of something like, I don't know, Purple
Trap. He already knew, he was, the genie from Room was going to be named Mixes. He already had that planned.
Trap or AI Trap or just something temporary, and then that would have been the canon name. That would have been so much worse than Nexus. So
after Help Wanted, we got Security Breach. Were you happy with the release of Security Breach when it first came out?
Security Breach, there's a really big story behind that. That was definitely a challenging period, and a lot of things just didn't align up perfectly for that, and there were a lot of reasons for that. I mean, obviously, I hear lots of studios and things kind of blame COVID for stuff, but there is a reason for that. COVID took well-structured work systems and suddenly scattered them and expected the work to continue to flow, and it just doesn't work that way. From my understanding, I'm pretty sure most, if not every, member of Steel Wool got scattered across the country, and we're trying to just carry on with the workflow.
Security Breach so pretty, the happy.
And
Security Breach was a really good looking game. It's something that's usually not mentioned anymore because it happened a while ago, but it took like 2 years for them to release the game or something like that. It took them a while to work on it, so like the final product wasn't amazing, but I guess COVID what does COVID have to do with this? The pandemic in 2020 made it to where all the developers, like, at the studios and stuff, got scattered, having to work at home and stuff, and that's what COVID has to do with this. They should redo the Fright Dome with the FNAF movie suits. Yeah, that would be cool. They haven't done the Fright Dome for FNAF since, like, 2014, but if they... or like 2015, but if they did it with the FNAF movie suits instead, that would be pretty cool.
It was just really difficult. I think that's really the only example when
they were trying to create the game
my
while the COVID
idea of how a game was going to go was misaligned with how things were going with Steel Wool.
What did you just say?
The go was misaligned with how things were going with Steel Wool, and I had a specific story for this in mind. Okay, for Security Breach, I really did. I had a
guess what? What, Turtle? So I guess Scott Cawthon had a different story in his mind than what Steel Wool planned out.
A very specific story in mind, and it is very different than the one that got in the game. And I think a part of that is the way that I
thank you for subscribing to the channel, Turtle.
Because what I was trying to do was I was trying to tell Steel Wool to do specific things throughout the game, put specific items in specific places, have specific characters do certain things, meanwhile not telling them what the story plot was. Because in my head, I was thinking, okay, when people find this, they will connect this to this to this, and it will all be revealed. And I thought I could do that without telling Steelwool the story plot.
Scott Cawthon didn't tell Steelwool the plot? So he told them to make the game, and then didn't tell them the plot of the game. So then, that's kind of weird. Feel free to leave a like on the stream if you want and are enjoying it. Yeah, if you're enjoying the stream so far, you can leave a like if you want, and if you haven't subscribed, it would be, I would be very thankful if you did. It'd help out the channel a lot.
That didn't work out very well because they got all of these pieces and
say
they thought it was their
Ruin
job
FNAF
to
World is the
connect
best FNAF
them
game.
in a
Help
way
Wanted
that
is
made
really
sense.
good, but
And so really what you ended up having were the same
my favorite
pieces,
is Ruin,
but telling
or
completely different stories.
FNAF World.
And since I was trying to kind of tell a specific story with mine that went a certain direction, they were taking pieces I didn't fully understand and trying to craft a story out of them. And again, I don't blame them for that. I blame myself for that because I guess what I should have done is just said, hey, here's the story. Here's why these pieces are here. Here's how they're supposed to connect.
So the story was supposed to be completely different, but Steelwool didn't understand it because Scott Cawthon didn't tell them the story of the game they were making.
And I can give you a really easy example for this. And I'm hesitant to say this because I don't like messing with the lore, but I think in this case it's okay. When it comes to Burn Trap, originally Burn Trap was never supposed to move.
What?
He was supposed to just be something you saw in the corners, or like if you were walking past machinery, you might be able to peek in between two things and see him in the corner or propped up against a wall, almost like a
So Burn Trap was supposed to be like a secret follower or something. He just gave them snippets of story as they went along. But like Burn Trap was supposed to be like a secret character that would just like stare at you from hidden places. That sounds really cool. I'm kind of sad that Steelwool didn't do that. Sounds really cool. Hopefully the announcement is maybe Steelwool making like a different version of Security Breach with this.
Some kind of decaying movie prop,
cool.
and you never fully understood what his purpose was. And he had a very specific purpose, and I'm not going to say what that purpose was, but realistically...
So what was Burn Trap's purpose? He was going to have a purpose? Maybe he wasn't going to be the Mimic? What? Lamau Scott had this whole world made up in his mind, but just told Steelwool little tidbits to get them by. I mean, he could have just had like a whole document and sent them a whole document with his like story and game design and everything planned out.
He never moved. Well, obviously that's not what we got in Security Breach. In Security Breach, we got a capsule opening and purple smoke flowing out and him climbing out and coming to get you. And so it's just not quite the same thing. So
Burn Trap was going to be more ominous in the game and just be like watching it from the shadows. That would have been really cool.
Anyway, it didn't turn out the way anybody wanted, but hey, whenever that happens, just like whenever I stepped in it a little bit with FNAF World, me and Steelwool got together. We were like, look, all that matters now is making things right by the fan base. That's all that matters. We all had the best intentions going on. We all wanted to make a good product, and we went in and we made Ruin for it, and I hope that redeemed the game. And I feel like
Ruin was supposed to make up for the mistakes in Security Breach. That's what I thought.
I think it was really great.
It's cool to see that Scott Cawthon
and anything that we do going forward that continues that story or has those same themes, I think we're just going to be in a much better situation to continue on.
So
it's awesome that he cares so much about the fans and everything making sense to the fans. Yeah, with his story, since it's so convoluted and everything, it's amazing that he's actually trying to make it make a little bit more sense to the fans, since most of it is confusing.
The Ruin DLC came out a year ago now, which is crazy to think about. Time's going so quickly, and the fan reaction to that was amazing. Everybody loved it, and everybody's looking forward to what's...
Alright. You can't be saying stuff like that in the chat either. The stupid emoji thing's in the way. I'm trying to remove the message, but I can't. But you can't be saying things like that in the chat. like I said before, this chat is I'm just gonna type a message real fast so I can. It's okay. Just lol, Chica has her fans. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about that because that is definitely not appropriate for this context. Just don't talk about that kind of stuff. This is a family-friendly stream. Or
the
I guess
ending of Ruin
family-friendly-ish.
with a specific character that came out, a new character into
The
game,
Mimic!
The Mimic. Any thoughts on the Mimic?
I cannot share any thoughts on the Mimic other than I really like that character. This is a character that I really like and I'm really excited about. I think it's a really terrific antagonist, and I don't think it's the last that we've seen of the Mimic. That's all I'll say.
Yo, he confirmed that the Mimic's gonna be returning. He's definitely gonna be in the Carnival game.
Yes. With that, do you have a favourite character in the Steelwool era of games?
I mean, Music Man is too obvious of an answer, right? I mean, I think all those characters turned out great. In fact, I think this one.
Yeah, most people love the Mimic. Some of the lore people were angry about the Mimic because of the Tales books and books being canon to the games and stuff, but most people did like the Mimic. I know I did. He's probably my favorite character in FNAF.
It's hard to pick a favorite because all of them turned out so well, you know. I've always really liked Vanny as a character. I don't think that Vanny was utilized to her fullest potential, and so hopefully we'll see another opportunity for Vanny to return as well.
He could be the Mimic. I mean, the title does say Scott Cawthon 2.0, so this might just be the Mimic pretending to be Scott Cawthon.
Transform your newsletter into its very own
There's
mobile
another
app
ad.
and allow your readers to install.
Ooh, okay. Moving on to the books. So the books have been amazing.
More time.
I've been doing little summary videos on the channel with Fazbear Frights.
What do you mean you know who Vanny is? Like the lore, like in the lore who Vanny is? Because I'm pretty sure that's just Vanessa, but what do you mean by that, Turtle?
That was awesome. How has it been working on Fazbear Frights?
It's actually really enjoyable. It's probably one of the most enjoyable things that I do because I just get to think up a really scary scenario, and then I create
that's what I thought.
Maybe a 10 to 15 page story out of it. And then I have writers that I work with, obviously, and they take that and they really flesh it out and fill it out and add the details and turn it into a full length story. And I get to kind of just really see it come to life. So it's been really enjoyable, and that's something that I really enjoy. It's funny because it's one of those things where as long as I know that that's something that's happening in my life, I might be at the gym or I might be watching a show, and then suddenly something will come to mind, and I'll be like, "Oh man, this is gonna make a great story."
He'll just randomly pop up with like a FNAF story in his head. You know what? As a future game developer and showmaker, I agree with him on that. Sometimes ideas for like games and shows and stuff just randomly pop up in my head while I'm doing stuff.
I get right home and I start working on it.
Do you have a favorite story out of all of them?
I think my favorite story it's probably Bunny Call. I know that's kind of an oddball choice, but there's a reason for it. It's because some of these stories are based on my real life experiences. Bunny Call is not completely made up. I used to take my family to a family summer camp. Okay, this is one of.
He's already talking about right here, like this one. He actually based on a real life experience he had. So, can you imagine all those little daydreams you have during the day, just getting to tell a writer, and they got created and brought to life. Well, I mean, in my case, I'm gonna be the one making them, but in other cases, yeah, that would be like super cool. Like you imagine something, and then like a writer actually makes that real, like your imagination real, like that. Is a super cool feeling. Or
my two oldest boys were maybe 11 and 12 at the time.
Yeah,
or I bet they were
like the
13 and 14. It's hard to remember exactly when this was. But then I had younger two that were just babies still. And whenever we showed up at camp and we were all in the auditorium signing up for activities, it was rafting and boating. One of the things you could sign up for was a panda call. Okay.
And a panda call it's a very deceiving title, because what that meant is that early in the morning, a bunch of the camp counselors dressed as killer clowns would come into your cabin and scare the crap out of your kids to wake them up early and drag them off to their daily activities. And so I signed up.
What? What is it? What? I've had some wild nightmares. I could tell some writers some crazy things to write. Yeah, there are a lot of horror stories that you could make off of like nightmares and stuff.
Up my two oldest, Ian and Braden, my old beta testers from whenever they, all their lives testing my games. I signed them up for it. And I thought, oh yeah, this will be kind of fun. It was kind of fun until the next morning started rolling around. I started thinking about what I'd done, because then the next morning I woke up at 5 a.m. and I realized they're out there somewhere. Like this is happening right now. And I started listening for screams and I started listening for noises.
Okay, I don't know what kind of dream you're talking about, Turtle, but again, if it's not really family friendly, please don't talk about it here.
And I even snuck out and went outside, and it was dark and there were crickets chirping, and I was looking around and I just thought to myself, somewhere out here in the dark, in these trees, are a bunch of clowns, and they're coming to my...
Okay. Welcome to the stream, Natalie. If you are just joining, I'm going to say this again. I'm watching the interview with Scott Cawthon and Dawko. If you've already seen it, please don't spoil anything. I'm going to continue watching.
and it was a really, really scary sensation. And so then I just went back inside and I looked at my family sleeping. I looked at my baby sleeping and my kids and my wife, and I was like, what have I done? Like, what have I done?
Yeah, I'm also scared of tornadoes too. Like tornadoes.
Of course, it ended up not being a big deal, because then I just heard a soft knock at the door and I opened it and there was a row of killer clowns. I said, never mind, you guys, and they just walked on. And so it wasn't a big deal, but it was still a really eerie feeling like I had signed up for something that I'd regretted and I couldn't undo it, And so I based a bunny call on that.
So he signed his kids up for something at like a summer camp where a bunch of killer clowns would show up and scare them to wake them up.
Oh, that's awesome. You said that you've got relatable stories. Do you have a relatable story with Fazgoo?
Look, okay. Listen, anytime there's a series of a whole bunch of different things, you're going to have some that are great, and then some that's like, well, like what was going on with this? I don't know how to explain the Fazgo. I'm sure I had something in mind that was really great, but they can't all be winners. Now I will say a couple of the other ones that had real life connections. Sometimes you hear about people talking about their sleep paralysis.
Yeah, I'm the same with the dark. I'm sort of scared of it, but it's only really if I watch something scary or I'm thinking of something that's scary. But he's talking about the Fazgoo and how it wasn't really that great of a story or whatever, and
Paralysis demons or whatever.
I kind of agree.
That's never really made sense to me, but now it kind of makes sense to me, and I don't know why it does. Yeah, every once in a while, a person you'll wake up, but you'll still be paralyzed in your sleep, and for some reason, I guess in that moment, you're still half dreaming, and so you have a tendency to still maybe see something before you fully wake up. And the Blackbird creature was mine.
Oh.
That creature on the cover of Blackbird is my sleep paralysis demon, because I was on vacation, I was by myself.
That's cool.
And I don't know what the circumstances were. I feel like I was taking a midday nap, but I woke up with a jolt, and for a split second I saw that thing standing over me and I couldn't move, and my body was tingling and I was just frozen up. And I was just so disoriented after that, but I never forgot that, and I knew immediately after that, it's like, so I've got to get this.
Blackbird story for FNAF was actually because of his sleep paralysis demon. Huh. That's really cool, actually.
A story somewhere, like this crazy looking creature.
That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I've never had sleep paralysis, so I don't know what my creature would look like.
Yeah, Goosebumps can have some really scary stories.
I don't think it's a normal experience. I don't think
all the Goosebumps books or watched all the movies or anything, but from everything I have seen, it's really scary.
an experience you should want to have. I don't feel like it's a healthy thing. So if that hasn't happened to you, I think you're in a good place.
Do you have a least favorite story?
I don't know. I think it probably might be the Fazgoo, or no. I mean, come on. It's got to be the one where the guy gets pregnant with Springtrap's baby. I'm not sure what I was.
Oh no. Oh no, he's talking about this one. Oh Lord.
Thinking about, again, that's one of those things where, oh man, this is going to be really creepy. But then you step back and look at it from afar, and you're like, I don't know if this is a good idea. I swear I wasn't picking on Matt. That wasn't a story designed with Matt Pat in mind. It really, really wasn't. Listen, whenever you're doing these stories for this long, eventually you just run out of names, and you're going to cover all the names.
Yeah.
Eventually I'll get around to Dawko. And so if you see Dawko in one of these stories, it's not something personal. It's just because I ran out of names.
I don't know. Dawko is a very specific name that you'd have to get to.
I probably have a few more to go through before I get to that, so you don't have anything to worry about.
When doing my summary videos, and I know a lot of people say the same. People who loved Goosebumps when they were kids.
Hey, wait. We were just talking about Goosebumps. Okay, please don't talk about the story. The story is a little bit crazy. But we were just talking about Goosebumps, and now Dawko mentioned it.
I find these really relatable, right? And I know kids at school now read Fazbear Frights like they're Goosebumps books. And as a kid, my favourite TV show was Goosebumps. Would you ever think about or like the idea of Fazbear Frights ever being like a TV show like Goosebumps, where it's like a series of some of the best stories or something adapted?
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's something that can definitely happen. Especially now that the first
Scott Cawthon wants to have like a show with the Fazbear Fright stories. That would be really cool.
Is the door to lots of other potential opportunities. The only thing to be mindful of is I don't want to oversaturate the market and just create too much. And I think that sometimes we get a little bit of that where franchises have movies and too many TV shows, and it just kind of waters everything down.
Most of them are Tales from the Pizza-Plex.
But I really do like that idea, and it is definitely something that could happen for sure.
Awesome. So the next segment is the FNAF movie. I've got some questions for you, Scott. First off, I absolutely loved the movie, as you know, and I know a lot of people did as well. The fans absolutely loved it, and it did really well at the box office as well. Super successful. Congratulations to you.
300 million
Blumhouse, Universal.
Wow.
So yeah, first question is, how was working on the first FNAF movie after waiting for so long?
I don't have any of the
after
Diary of
announcing
a
it
Wimpy
back
Kid
in
books.
2015. Well, you emailed me back in 2015 about it. I still remember that email. But yeah, how was it?
It took a really long time to get off the ground, really just because of the screenplay. But after the screenplay was really locked in, from there, all the wheels started turning, all the engines fired, and it took off. And it was a really fun experience from there. And really the screenplay just had a lot of challenges because of what it was. And it's really, throughout all of those years, I worked with a lot of different directors, a lot of different writers, a lot of really talented people that eventually would end up leaving the project, but still really talented people. And it was really just a matter of...
Maybe he considered having Willem Dafoe as William Afton, maybe. I don't know if he brings that up, but maybe he considered that.
There's just material that's difficult to translate to the screen. And one of the biggest issues
I also went crazy whenever I heard about the FNAF movie, like its trailer and its teasers and everything. Big City Greens is a pretty good show. I don't really watch it much, but from what I've watched of it, it's pretty good.
The animatronics, obviously being the monsters in the monster movie, if I were to approach any writer of a horror movie or any director and say, okay, here are your monsters, go make a monster movie with them, that's easy. You give them all a knife, you go in, you just make your generic slasher, but just have it be, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy doing the slashing.
Big City Greens has a movie? Huh? Yeah, I also can't wait for the FNAF 2 movie. I think Matthew Lillard said today that filming starts in October, but didn't know that Big City Greens had a movie. But Yeah, Matthew Lillard said the filming starts in October, but I am super excited for its release next year.
The nuance here is that these animatronics are possessed by the spirits of kids, and these are innocent kids. These are victims themselves. So it's very, very difficult to still have a horror movie, still have those kills that you need, but still preserve the innocence of those
I might
kids.
have to watch it.
It's a really difficult thing to do, and there were several screenplays that did not hit that mark. And I think I was more cautious about that and more picky about that than anything else. If kind of the innocence of those spirits was not preserved properly, I wasn't going to go forward with it. And so, one quick example is the way that we were able to have a couple of kills in the movie was obviously the vandals. You have a group of people who are breaking in, they're disrespecting the place, they're trashing the place, they're there with bad intentions, and then you combine that with the fact that these animatronics are, the spirits in them are these kids that are basically very confused and lost, animals backed into a corner, and kind of left with this impression that adults are out to get them, and then you have these violent adults breaking in.
Yeah, I did see that Markiplier was supposed to be in the FNAF movie, but he wasn't able to get into the movie because of him filming his Iron Lung movie. Hopefully, he's in the FNAF 2 movie, and he gets a cameo in that. But yeah, I did hear about Markiplier's reason for not getting in the movie.
Allows you to have that kill count while still being like, well, I can kind of see how that might happen. It was a tricky thing to do, but I think we were able to accomplish that.
Manipulated by William Afton still as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right. The drawing on the wall was also kind of this layer, this blanket of manipulation over them all. So all those things combined, you could see how these actions could happen. While it not
the cupcake is definitely a menace in the movie.
With the fort scene as well. I loved the fort scene. I know some people were a bit confused by that, like why
he killed Carl in the movie, the one robber, and then he was the reason that Matthew Lillard got spring locked, and the cupcake was definitely a menace in the movie.
Why are they building a fort? But I got it straight away. You just want to show the audience that they're just kids, right? Were you happy with the first movie and how it came out?
Yes, I am. I am very happy. I mean, look, anytime anybody, I think pretty much anybody who's been through a process like this would be able to look back. And I do this with my games too. You look back and you're like, well, I wish I'd tweaked this. Oh, maybe this could have been like this, or maybe this could have been like that. But you have to just really take a step back and look at it as a whole, and where it came from, all the things that could have gone wrong, and all the things that went right, and just be really grateful that so many things just fell into place. And I can give you a really quick example of why I don't want to second guess too much.
Yeah, I know
at
that
the 11th hour of this movie coming together,
live action actor for Shaggy.
We still really didn't have a music.
That's where I first saw Matthew Lillard, and then in the FNAF movie he was there.
Composer, and I'd really wanted an animated intro. I was really pushing to have that 8-bit really animated intro, but we didn't have anybody, and really not really anybody to have an idea of what kind of music we were looking for. 11th hour, Newton Brothers come in and they write out that banger of a track, like absolute insane. Like I listened to that the first time and I was like, wait a minute, do I have a theme song? Does Five Nights at Freddy's have a theme song? And I called Emma Tammy on the phone. I was like, wait, do we have a theme song now? Like, I can't tell you how excited I was over that. And you better believe you're going to hear
Matthew
that again
Lillard
at the beginning of the second movie too. I mean, like that was just so incredible. The Newton Brothers just knocked that out of the park.
Okay, you said something about the second movie. What did he say?
See how excited I was over that. And you better believe you're going to hear that again at the beginning of the second movie too. I mean, like,
let's go. The Newton Brothers are going to be making the soundtrack for the FNAF 2 movie.
That was just so incredible. The Newton Brothers just knocked that out of the park.
That's good.
So yeah,
they did an amazing job with the soundtrack.
I don't think I'm going to dwell too much on what I would go back and try to do.
I know he said the theme song specifically, but they're probably just going to get the Newton Brothers back to make the soundtrack for the movie.
As we know, the movie was a major hit in 2023, super successful, the biggest horror movie of 2023 as well. How does that feel, seeing that happen?
It's nice. That part is nice. It's more important to me that if the critics had loved it, but the fan base was grumbling and saying, "Wait, this isn't how it is in the lore. Wait, we didn't like this. I don't like how they did this and this," and the fan base was unhappy. That would be a failure to me. I'm perfectly happy with all the critics hating it and the fan base reacting positively to it. So yes, it is nice that the movie was successful. However, that is not the correct metric by which to judge the success of this movie.
Yeah, I agree with what he's saying.
And
it's better if the fans like it than like how much money it makes or what the critics think about it. I'm not gonna say, actually, I will say this. I haven't watched Friday the 13th. Or most stuff that is mentioned in the chat I haven't seen or played or watched.
in fact, opening night, which was Thursday night, where I am, I went to the very first showing, and the theater was pretty much empty. There were only a couple.
Yeah, it's great how much he cares about the fan base and how much people care about the game, care about the games and the fan base and how much they care about the games and the movie and the lore and stuff. It's cool to see how much he cares about it and how much we care about it.
There, but it was a 1:00 showing, but still, I saw that as kind of a bad sign. But I just watched it anyway. Then I went to the next showing, which was just later in the evening, and I told myself I wasn't going to go online. I wasn't going to read any reviews. I had already told everybody at Blumhouse, and I told my legal team, don't talk to me.
Oh yeah, he did say whenever the FNAF movie came out, he wore like a disguise to multiple theaters and watched the movie, and I don't know if anyone actually noticed him in the theater watching the movie. The movie It is your favorite horror movie? I also haven't watched It either. Or, I haven't watched the original or the newer one for It.
Don't email me. Don't send me charts. Don't send me facts or figures. I don't want to hear anything about anything. I'm going through this whole weekend blind. I just want to experience what everybody else is experiencing. Well, before I went into that second showing, I was just by myself. And then later that evening, my whole family was coming into town, by the way. My whole family was going to come in town and watch the movie with me that night. But this showing, I was still sitting by myself. I was checking my email, and I accidentally saw one of the reviews. And I saw that it was terrible. And that opened the floodgates, and I went and started reading all of the other reviews. And I immediately texted my family saying, don't come. Don't come.
Well, that's sad to hear. I hate when people do those negative reviews like that and stuff, because stuff like this does happen whenever negative reviews come out. So it's sad to see that this happened, but
this is over.
I hope Scott Cawthon knows that most of us really enjoyed the movie. The majority of the FNAF community really enjoyed it.
I want to be by myself. And I was already thinking in my head, how am I going to write a letter to Blumhouse apologizing for this? How am I going to write a letter to the fans apologizing to this for just wasting everybody's time? And I was just incredibly depressed. But somehow Jason Blum caught wind of this. I don't know who I asked a question to or what I said, but he started just bombarding me with text messages saying, Scott, the fans love it. The fans love it. The movie's a big hit. Everything's great. He was just in all caps, everything all caps. My phone was just blowing with all caps texts. And
1 second, chat. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back, and let's go back to watching this.
And so he really talked me through that to try to encourage me that even though the critics hated it, there was a lot to be loved there by the fans. And so then
it's good to hear that Jason Blum told him that people really enjoyed it, and that he stopped feeling down about it. Because most of us, the majority of us, did enjoy it. Like me, I really liked the movie. And most people loved the movie.
I had my family coming to town anyway, and we just sat in a packed theater and listened to the cheers and enthusiasm, and it really lifted my spirits. But for a couple of hours there, man, I was pretty distraught. I thought the whole thing was just a complete disaster.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't. It all worked out okay. It all worked out okay.
Yeah.
And again, the movie's not perfect. There's definitely room to improve. But yeah, I'm definitely happy that it was.
Everyone can hear me, right?
In general,
I turned off my mic a second ago, so. Yeah, there are a few things I don't like about the movie, but overall, it's an amazing movie. Like, the movie was good. Lore-wise, it wasn't accurate, but it's probably supposed to be, like, a different timeline. But other than that, it's an amazing movie with only a few minor flaws.
Received well by the fan base.
The second movie, which is, it's been announced that it's going to be coming out in 2025.
Oh, yeah.
December 2020.
I remember with the second movie, some of the pictures of it, Scott Cawthon has already put some of the pictures of the second movie animatronics up on Twitter. Like, he showed Toy Bonnie's, like, face, like, head being designed, and Toy Bonnie's eyes, and Toy Chica's faceplate, or, like, faceplate for the animatronic. Obviously, Toy Chica doesn't have one in the games, I don't think, but, oh yeah, and Mangle's, like, rib cage and stuff. It did show them performing for a second, and it did show the kids that were possessing the animatronics. It showed them in, like, the sleepy time things. Like whenever Josh Hutcherson fell asleep and he had those weird dreams. Like, the animatronics were really good for the movie, yeah. All of them. Even Foxy, who they had to, like, have on a track and stuff, was really good.
25?
Yeah, December 5th, 2025, I think.
Is there anything exciting to talk about?
Yeah, they were in the woods. They probably, like, having the corpses of the children and the animatronics probably wasn't going to be in the movie, because it's supposed to be PG-13, I think. It was supposed to be PG-13, so they obviously couldn't show that. Plus, most people who watch it probably wouldn't want to see that. It's a little bit, like I just said, it's probably rated PG-13. Can't exactly remember, but I'm pretty sure it was PG-13.
Movie, anything you want to say?
I'm not going to give away too many details, but I will say that I'm following kind of the same formula, where the first movie is focused on the first game.
The second movie is focused on the second game. We've already seen that with the animatronic photos. It would make it better if it had a little bit more violence, but it honestly doesn't. I honestly don't care. It doesn't really matter. The movie was good even without having, like, more deaths or the corpses or whatever.
Try to carry on that tradition onward with future movies, and I think that is absolutely the way to go. And I think everyone's going to be really, really excited for what's planned for the second one. The first one was really challenging because it's so much setup. It's like, how do you establish all of this? But now that we have that launch pad, where to go from there?
Launch pad. Maybe he is teasing a Fortnite collab. Let's see. I want to know how the guy in the closet died. In the closet? Was there someone in the closet in the FNAF movie? I don't remember much of the movie. It's been a few months since I watched. I remember most of it. Just it's been a few months since I watched it. But closet? Oh, the guy who died to Bonnie. I'm pretty sure in, like, some testing things that he was revealing after the actor's strike, he said that he showed that Bonnie was going to kill him with the guitar, like he was going to stab him with the guitar. So yeah, I think this movie was more getting to know and fall in love with the main animatronics. The next one might be a little bit more gory since they have an obvious bad guy now. Yeah, it might be a little bit more gory. They're obviously not going to do too much, or else they would have to go above the PG-13 rating. But they might have a little bit more gore. Maybe have Springtrap's, like, corpse, like William Afton's corpse in the Springtrap animatronic or something. No problem, Turtle.
There came a lot just more natural. It felt a lot more natural, and we were able to really craft just a really great story, I think. And I'm really excited about it. And I won't say anything more, but I'm really hopeful that everyone's gonna really love what's gonna come around.
The Springlock scene wasn't terrible. Obviously, there being less gore definitely impacted how much the scene was. Like, it didn't really... I guess I said impacted. It doesn't really impact it much. The I always come back line was a little bit forced, but who really cares? It was just fun to see that it was actually in the movie. Like, actually seeing the Springlock happen and stuff was really cool, so... I personally think the Springlock scene was good. Plus, Matthew Lillard's acting was amazing.
Around December 2025.
Yeah, so exciting. And is Emma back and everything?
Oh yes,
well?
Emma's gonna be back. She did such a great job on that first.
All right, this is good to hear that Emma Tammy's going to be coming back to direct the movie. Was she the director? I think she was the director. Like I said earlier, it was supposed to be like a different timeline from the game, so the Springlocks are going to be built differently and not do the same thing like they did in games.
First one, you know.
Yeah, that's really good, having the same director. So now we're going to be talking about Into the Pit, the new game that's coming out by Mega Cat Studios. We just got the trailer, another trailer, a couple like last week, and it looks amazing. It looks so good. How is it been working?
PG-13, they can only show so much blood / gore / swearing and stuff. They definitely don't want to do more to have to bump up the rating because that would cut out a lot of their audience. Yeah, definitely most of their audience probably would have been cut out. Like, most kids probably wouldn't be able to see it and stuff because of their parents and everything if they had to bump it up to, like, rated R or mature or anything like that. They should have made it more dramatic. I can kind of see that. Like, if they had the Springlock scene be a little bit more dramatic, I can kind of see that.
On the game, based on a Fazbear Fright story.
It's definitely been a unique experience. You know, I first started talking to Meg. I mean, it's been years and years since that game has been in development. And originally, it was just supposed to be a little novelty one-off. Like, oh yeah, here's this little company that makes 16-bit cartridges, and that was immediately appealing to me because I'm all about the Super Nintendo. And so if I could make something that would come on the Super Nintendo cartridge, you know, sign me up.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most exciting thing, the most exciting product I'd ever worked on. It was still just,
it was like and then the robots take them away. Yeah, kind of. I mean, there was obviously more that happened with him saying the "I always come back" line and stuff like that, but then again, they couldn't show much because they didn't want to have to bump it up to rated R. They couldn't show him getting crushed by the Springlocks and blood spewing everywhere and stuff. But I guess they could have done a little bit more with it. Yeah,
just supposed to be a novelty. But as the development went on, everybody was looking at it thinking, this looks pretty good. This actually looks really good. And so they just kept on going with it. They could have stopped.
I don't know if they could have done a puddle of blood plus. They probably tried to make it at least a little bit realistic. Because, like, I don't think, like, a puddle of blood would form because of the Springlocks. I mean, maybe I don't want to test that, but they tried to make it realistic, and they also tried to make it PG-13, so they probably couldn't have done something like that
a lot sooner. They could have stopped with just a little simple novelty game, but they just kept going, and I kept looking at thinking, yeah, keep going, and they kept going, and I would keep looking at it. It just turned into this.
I think they did
big,
have that, like,
full-fledged, full-sized game. So we obviously decided to venture away from strictly the cartridges, so that everybody can be able to play it on Steam and everything. But it's really unique. It's just a really, really unique game, and I do love that it really gets into just this really gritty kind of these kind of gritty graphics that I haven't seen since, well, I guess since the late 90s, whenever you had those point and click type adventures and you had that real kind of that pixelated art style that can be really creepy at times. I don't know. It's going to be a really unique experience, and I think that everyone's going to really be excited about it. I really do.
Awesome. I can't wait to play it. How is it being?
Yeah, I'm also excited for the Into the Pit game on the 8th. I'm really excited for it. So far, the game has looked really good. And it being on the 10th anniversary of FNAF is also going to be really cool. So, yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Working with Mega Cat Studios then.
Oh, it's been great. It's been really great. I really haven't had to give them. I have had to give them direction, but for the most part, it's been weird. They would go into the hole for 6, 7, 8 months at a time, and I wouldn't hear anything from them. To the point where I thought
maybe a few more screams of pain would have made this the scene a little bit better, but I don't know.
Is this okay? And I would even, I talk to the other people that I work with, like, is this game okay? Is this going to be okay? Are they okay? Do I need to check on this? Do we need to check on them over there? But then I would get an update, and it would just be all
I'm
this.
not usually a pixely game kind of person, but I usually don't mind too much for FNAF. Yeah, with the FNAF games, they're supposed to be more like in the late 90s and stuff like that, so the pixely game graphics fits more with like the theme of the games, and the characters fit more with the art style and stuff. Plus, Into the Pit looks really good with that art style.
This crazy new stuff and all this crazy detail, this fluid animation. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And then they'd go back into the hole again for 5, 6, 7 months. And then we just repeat that cycle. But now here we are finally at the end of that road, and I think it's just turned out really great. Like I said, really unique, and I think everybody's going to really like it.
The reaction to the trailer has been amazing. All positive feedback about it. Super excited. People love it. The story of Into the Pit as well. Into the Pit's probably my favourite Fazbear Fright story. So with all the positive feedback about it, what do you see for the...
When is he going to talk about the box? When is he going to talk about the box? I hope he talks about the box soon.
Future of FNAF spin-offs made by other...
I like bright, pretty games, lol. That's why I really like Security Breach. It was so colorful and bright. And I prefer the more like darker and more scarier aesthetic from like Ruin and stuff. I'm fine with the brighter aesthetic, just I prefer the like darker and scarier aesthetic of Ruin. What's your good FNAF idea, Turtle? like FNAF game idea. Who knows, maybe if I decide to make a FNAF fan game, maybe I can take this idea and credit you for it.
other studios in the future.
Oh, it's definitely a possibility. In fact, I'd really like them to start working on Fetch. I think...
We just said that he thinks it would be a good idea for them to make a Fetch game. Huh. Interesting. The Broken Ones. This also sounds interesting.
Fetch would make a really good
do you have
game.
any like details about what this fan game or like FNAF game idea would be, Turtle?
After this, you know, some stories obviously cater more toward being a good game than others, but there's something really scary about the thought of something always being out there and kind of watching your house, and then trying to come in and do things for you. Like, this is kind of a scary thought. The thought that I might be online shopping looking for a specific thing, and somehow something out there is hearing that and receiving that, and then gonna come to me, sneak inside and put it somewhere without me knowing that it was there. It's just a creepy scenario. It's a creepy setup.
So he's really thinking about making a Fetch game as well.
I think it'd be a really cool game to have to stop this thing, because obviously Fetch was out doing a lot of menacing things, to have to sneak around a neighborhood and stop this thing that's sneaking around so undetected. I don't know. I think it'd be a really cool game. So hopefully that'll be the next project. We'll see.
As the franchise has grown bigger, what challenges have you faced with running a franchise of this size? Is there anything you could think you could be doing better?
Giving Steel Wool the full story. That's not creepy. I would be happy if something went out and got me everything I was shopping online for. The actual story for Fetch is actually really creepy. So basically in the story, the dog Fetch, like the kid finds the dog Fetch, and then over time the kid will ask for something like he wants this specific like food or this specific thing or whatever, and then Fetch will magically appear with that thing. And then I think he asked for like his uncle, or like he wanted it to pull his uncle's magical... Okay, this started so weird. Okay. Basically, it's like the lucky finger. He wants to pull the lucky finger, like the fart joke with the finger. You pull the finger and the fart. But, like, he wanted to pull the lucky finger so that something would happen, or like his life would get better. It doesn't make sense, but it's a thing in the story. And then Fetch actually goes and steals his uncle's finger and like bites off his uncle's finger and takes it to the kid. And then at the end of the story, the kid wants to meet his girlfriend and like talk to his girlfriend, and then Fetch kills her and then brings him the dead body of his girlfriend. It's terrifying.
I think something I should have maybe been doing better is I should have had a better structure in place as far as people to talk to the fan base. You know, I've always kept that on myself all during the year.
Yeah, you just got to be careful what you ask Fetch to bring you. Careful not to ask him to bring you your best friend, because Fetch will probably kill them.
And in the early years, I think that worked great because it was a little indie game, a little indie community, and then me, the indie dev, just chatting with the community and talking. But as the years go by and the franchise gets bigger and bigger, I don't know. I feel like I've slowly kind of lost touch with the fan base. Unfortunately, it's not that same. It's not that same relationship that it used to be. I really used to enjoy chatting with everybody and just kind of I don't know. And I guess that's expected.
It's about like the robots, but they're broken, and you're back to the first game, and you have to fix them, and you're trying to keep the new robots out and fix the old ones so they can break the new ones. Huh. That's an interesting idea. I mean, it might not make the best. Okay, that sounds kind of mean, but it might not make the best game, but it definitely sounds like a cool idea. Thinking about it, might make for a good book even. If Fetch can bring me everything in my Amazon cart without me having to pay anything, I'm down. I don't know, man. Having a creepy animatronic dog magically there to bring me anything I ask for is kind of creepy, even if like it can give me anything on like an Amazon list or whatever. Repair the old ones to battle the new ones. Yeah, that's an interesting.
FNAF is more of a
game idea.
It is more of a big.
I mean, like I said, since I have been thinking about making potential FNAF fan games, maybe I could make something like that. Like credit you for the idea or something.
Just kind of a bigger thing now, and it's bigger than one person, and I can't just pretend like I can hop online and chat with everybody and solve everybody's problems anymore. Used to, I kind of could. I could just go in there and chat with everybody and resolve little problems as if it was like just a squabble on a forum. I can always just step in and solve it, but it's just not the same. And I think that I should.
SpaceX robot dog thing. Bring me all my Amazon wish list, please.
Have realized that sooner, and I'm really only realizing.
I don't think he was like a robot dog like the ones they have now. I think he was actually like a possessed, ghostly spirit robot dog thing. I don't know. I didn't fully read the book.
Realizing that this year that I really need to have a better structure in place.
Most of it,
you know, and the fan base deserves that. The franchise deserves that. The fan base deserves that, to have more people in charge and running a Twitter page and official news feeds, an official news feed, so that there's not so much confusion about what's real and what's not real, and real news and fake news, and is this confirmed, is this not.
A Mortal Kombat FNAF game with all the characters, that would be crazy. Having Freddy Fazbear fight William Afton, or DJ Music Man versus the Blob, that would be, or I guess Tangle, as it's codenamed. I'm still gonna call it Blob. But that would be pretty cool.
Not confirmed. I could have avoided
like a Mortal Kombat
years
FNAF
of
game.
that if I just kind of had a better structure in place with people to listen to.
And like finishers, like being like jump scares or something, that would be like crazy, like really cool and crazy.
Like I said, a new feed and someone else to just provide better answers to the fan base. So I'm trying to get all that in place. And I really think I think it would just better serve the fan base. And I think everybody would be a little happier if it's not just.
All right, where is he going to talk about the box?
Me trying to jump in and.
There's only like 9 minutes left.
Straighten things out.
When is he going to talk about the box?
Yeah, I think the Twitter's a great idea.
Yeah.
We're recording this in June, but it was announced today. The schedule for what's coming out during that week is really exciting and really good. So people.
And Freddy's finisher is he turns out the power and rips the enemy apart. Yeah, that would be incredibly cool. Like a Mortal Kombat fighter game with FNAF characters. That would be super
get
cool.
excited for the anniversary. They kind of know what's coming.
Someone earlier mentioned FNAF and Smash Bros, which would be pretty similar, but I would prefer Mortal Kombat style. Yeah, I would also prefer Mortal Kombat, like a Mortal Kombat style game for FNAF, like a FNAF Mortal Kombat style.
It's really
game.
exciting,
Sorry.
and communication like that. It's people have really appreciated that. So thank you for doing that. And looking forward to seeing what happens next on the Twitter, what they announce. And apart from the second movie to look forward to, is there anything else?
Yeah, Bonnie's finisher would definitely include the guitar. Maybe it could be something like with the movie, how the one burglar dude in the movie died, or how he was originally gonna die, where Bonnie used his guitar and stabbed him with it. That would be really terrifying and cool and stuff. It would be pretty good, and I just remembered a funny FNAF meme. What's this FNAF meme, Turtle?
Else you could hint at for the future? Any future titles or any little hints to get people excited for the future?
Talking about something.
One of the good things is going to be coming from Steel Wool, but that's going to be announced here in this same week that your interview is going to air. So I think that's it. In fact, I'm not sure if it was right before this or right after this.
Yeah,
it might have been right after this.
Yesterday.
No, it's actually releasing in 2 days, Dawko.
Yesterday, okay. And obviously everybody knows about the movie, and right now the books are these interactive books, which I read things like that growing up, and so I'm excited about those. And I've tried to.
Yeah, the interactive book has been really good so far. I mean, once I'm done with this, once I'm done with this interview, I'll probably end stream, but maybe tomorrow, since there's not going to be anything crazy or super long going on, maybe I'll. It's called FNAF Meme Pickle Rick. It's funny. It's FNAF Meme Pickle Rick. What? Yeah, the interactive book is cool. I haven't finished it, but maybe I'll finish it next stream.
Add some depth into those to where you can actually collect items in them and things like that. So it's really not just about picking a path. It's about picking a path and getting something, and then going to the other path and being able to use something. So it makes it more interesting and more intricate. But yeah, I mean, that's the plan for movies, games, and books. And I already told you my hope for the next Mega Cat game. And there is another game planned with Steel Wool, but that's not going to be announced for a while yet. So I can't talk about that. But there is something down the pipe.
Another Steel Wool game. Ooh. That's an ad. Ooh.
I just don't think it's.
Okay.
even beyond what's being announced this week, there's something beyond. But I can't talk about that.
Yeah, so I won't spoil anything. But I read the week before, guys, and it is good. So
I think the week before is actually one of the other interactive books that released recently.
Check it out when it comes out.
I don't know if it's out yet, but I thought I was getting an ad on my YouTube. Nope, that is completely on my end. I don't think streams get ads unless if you're just loading into the stream.
One, V.I.P. Is the
went to go
interactive
click
novel
skip.
V.I.P. another one as well?
Yes, yeah. V.I.P. It's one that I did with Scholastic, just like the others, but it's just going to be free. It's specifically for this event. I mean, I might still be included in a box set later down the road, but no, for this week, it was made specifically for this event. By the same author, I believe, as the week before. So if you enjoyed that one, you'll enjoy VIP. And I really love the story for VIP. I'm not going to ruin it, but it might be one of my favorites. So hopefully everybody really enjoys that.
That's awesome. I'm pretty sure it comes out before the interview. So
yeah, it came up before the interview. Springtrap, welcome to the stream, Tryhard Gamers. Yeah, I shouted you out a few videos ago in the Panda Podcast episode. And I'll shout you out again. So shout out to Tryhard Gamers. Really cool YouTube channel. If you can, subscribe to them. Or not if you can, but if you have the time, subscribe to them and watch some of their videos. They're really cool. Springtrap goes, he turns himself into a pickle. He's called Pickle Rick. Funniest stuff I've ever seen. I can't say that word, obviously, but I've ever seen it. It goes to a fire and Springtrap says, "What do you mean it wasn't funny?" And then he gets an axe thrown. So there are other interactive books. Yeah, there were 2 other ones released. There was one called The Week Before, and then I can't remember what the other one was called, but I think The Week Before had something to do with Phone Guy, and then I can't remember what the other one had to do with. Here's a fun fact about my videos. I don't edit my videos. Interesting. Like, are most of your videos just streams, or are they just like gameplay videos? I haven't watched. Okay, that sounds crazy, but like, for most of your videos, is it just like just gameplay? It sounds like I haven't watched your content. I do watch your content. Just yeah. Can you watch it after this video? I'll see the meme after this video. Gameplay like doing quests. Doing quests in games.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Future me, if you're watching,
Back to this.
probably loved it. There is a collab announcement tomorrow.
Oh, he's talking about the
from
collabs.
this interview. Whatever it is, I don't know, but it seems that you've been more open with collaborations with games recently. The Funko one as well. Are you more open to more collabs since we last spoke during the last interview? Like, would you be interested in whatever it is? I don't know, like Fortnite or Dead by Daylight. Have those popped into your head at all? Or
I'm very careful with collaborations because I want to protect the brand and I want to make sure that Five Nights at Freddy's stays as Five Nights at Freddy's. And there are some games where even if I really enjoy the game, it just doesn't feel like a good match. It feels like a mismatch.
He didn't say no to Fortnite. And I mean, Fortnite wouldn't be too crazy for the FNAF collab.
The brand integrity is the most important thing for me, and keeping everything feeling like it belongs. And so that's really been my only...
Yeah, Dead by Daylight would be pretty good with FNAF. That's the one that people keep suggesting, but I think they're already doing a collab on that same day. So I don't think that's going to be happening, but Fortnite is pretty likely, because they're having an update on the 6th, so... Like, they would announce it tomorrow, and then the day afterwards release it. Dead by Daylight would be good, but they did just recently get a big bear killer skin. Yeah, having 2 big, like, bear killers would be a little bit odd, so I don't know if they're going to add Freddy to the game or not.
Been my only hesitancy. I feel like I am branching out a little bit, and I am a little bit more open to those things than maybe I was in the early years, but I'm still very careful about it. We'll just see. We'll see how things.
Yeah, they probably would just have Springtrap.
Go.
Maybe.
Okay. Anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, Afton for Dead by Daylight would be cool, but he didn't say no to Fortnite. He didn't say no to it. He just said he's just trying to keep the like brand integrity or whatever. So he didn't say no to a Fortnite collab. It still could be Fortnite. Well, then again, he also didn't say no to Stumble Guys, so that's concerning, but then again, that would probably mess with the brand integrity, so it's probably not Stumble Guys.
To finish off the interview?
Let's see here. No, I mean, I think things
What
are in
about
a
the
good
box?
place, and like I said, I think that the things that are on the horizon are all things to.
That's cool. I'll have to watch it later, Try Hard Gamers. After you're done like recording it and posting it and everything.
To be excited about, and I think that everybody's going to really enjoy.
Yeah, Stumble Guys is a ripoff
the things
of
that
Fall
the fan
Guys.
base really going to enjoy. And I wish I could talk about those more, but I don't feel like I can.
So do you think we're going to have another interview in 10 years' time?
It doesn't have to be 10 years. We can try to do this a little bit more often.
Like, what, every 5 years?
Yeah, every 5 years. There we go.
Okay.
Every 5 years, we'll get an interview with Dawko and Scott Cawthon. Yeah. Dead by Daylight for the collabs usually do like a killer and a survivor or two. I don't think they could do survivors from FNAF since the good guys are basically kids. I guess they could do like Michael Afton or something like that, but then again, he is like he
Shaking your
he is
hands.
the reason that Crying Child died. That's what I was trying to say. He's the reason that Crying Child died. So I don't know if he would necessarily be considered a good guy. But I guess they could do like the movie and have like Josh Hutcherson as the survivor and then Matthew Lillard's William Afton as the killer.
Make it a regular thing.
Back to this.
Okay, awesome. The biggest thing that everybody has been begging me for this interview when I announced it is the box. That is, everybody just wants to know anything about
He's
it.
about to say the box.
It's the biggest mystery out of
Yeah,
the whole.
hoping the collab isn't Stumble Guys. He already announced that he's going to be making a Roblox game. Like, it released for, like, a split second on accident. So, like, for a few minutes on accident. But, they are working on a Roblox game. But I heavily doubt that that's the collab announcement. Since he already announced what the collab, like, what that's going to be.
All 10 years of FNAF, I would say. Maybe Midnight Motorist is number 2. But yeah, I'd say the box is the biggest.
All right, he's about to say what's in the box.
Everybody
Here
wants,
we go.
like, even a tiny snippet of something. Help.
Okay. Well, I can try to give somewhat of an answer to that, even though it might not be extremely satisfying for a lot of people. So I
feel like if Dead by Daylight was going to do the movie versions like Josh Hutcherson, they would probably do the collab closer to the movie release, like FNAF 2 release. Yeah, that would make sense for them to add them near when the FNAF 2 movie releases.
Encourage people to turn off the interview if they don't want an answer that they might not be happy with. But
what?
You know, whenever I'm making these games, there are a lot it
is lagging.
Are in my head that are just flowing ideas.
It might just be because I paused it. It could also be your like internet or whatever, but could be because I paused the video.
When I have them and put them there, it's the first half of something. It's like a string or a rope just like reaching out, and I know that what's there on the other end is there. I trust that it's there. I know that it's there, and then whenever I progress forward, the rest of that just reappears. The rest of it appears and just fits into place perfectly. That's how all my games have been made. I feel that there is something there, and I make the roads to get there for that to be revealed.
What's in the box?
But then sometimes
he's just saying stuff. What's in the box?
When things do progress, the roads aren't always the same roads as the ones that had been planned before. And so what that means is, even though at the time something was definitely there, something was definitely reaching out to be there, and I could feel that it was there, the progression of the story didn't go there. And so those strings never got pulled on, and those and the other half of that idea remained in the ether, remained in my subconscious. All of that to say, there is something in the box, but I never pursued it, and I don't know if I can find it again. And
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So the thing, he doesn't... I guess that person at the start of the stream did say that, that's terrible. He doesn't even know what's in the box. We have no answer for what's in the box. It's just a box. That's all we have now. It's just a box.
Scott, thank you so much for the interview. Myself and everybody really does appreciate it. We're looking forward to the future. We're looking forward to this week. Future me is probably stressing out, playing all the demos and getting ready for Into the Pit in a few days. I'm so excited for Into the Pit.
He said there is something in there. Maybe we will get there one day. He said right afterwards that he didn't even remember it. He doesn't remember what he originally played or whatever he said.
My Pop Goes and The Joy of Creation, that demo. I'm looking forward to playing all of those as well and reading the new book.
I'll watch the meme
in that week.
after.
I'm gonna just be MIA that whole week. I've already told my friends and family, like, I'm not gonna be here for the whole week. Don't call me, don't text me. I'm gonna be in this room just doing everything I can that week. And yeah, we really do appreciate it.
Me too, Dawko. Me too.
I think that's it.
I'm on the fourth stream. I still have to stream like 4 more times after this.
Watching. Again, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Without you guys watching the channel, I wouldn't be doing this in the first place. Interviewing Scott. So it really
Like I
does
said,
mean a lot
Turtle,
to
I'm
me.
going to be
Thank you
watching
so
it off
much.
stream. This stream
And,
is not,
I hope
like,
you all have a fantastic,
I don't know if there's any swears in
10-year
the meme or
anniversary
anything like that,
week,
but
and you're all enjoying yourselves.
I'm not going to watch it
playing
off
the
stream.
demos
Okay,
and
I'm
moving
sorry,
books
but
and
I'll
stuff,
watch it off
and
stream and tell you
excited
my
for
reaction,
Into
like,
the
next
Pit.
stream or something.
And Steel Wars announcement as well. That's so exciting. But yeah, thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. So yeah, we'll both leave now.
All right, sounds
Don't know
good. Thanks
how to
for
end it.
having me, Dawko. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Scott. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Alright. So, give me 1 second. I'm going to do this. So that was the interview. That was pretty good. I liked the interview. Like, the questions were not... Yeah, I'm not going to watch that meme on stream. I'm sorry, but, that was a pretty good interview that they had. Yeah, he does seem like a really cool guy that's just down to earth and, like, he's just a cool guy to be around and talk to and stuff. We don't know what's in the box. He didn't say no to there being a Fortnite collab. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he does seem to really care about the fans and what we want and stuff. So maybe the Fortnite collab is even more likely since most of us do want the Fortnite collab. But, we did get some lore answers and some stuff like that. And the stuff with Burn Trap and how he was originally supposed to be in the game was cool. And I wish that was actually in the game because that would have been way better than what we got. But, yeah, overall, that interview was pretty interesting. Yeah, he did say there is the Steel Wool thing in production. The Steel Wool first announcement is going to be happening on the 6th, in like 2 days. But, he didn't say what that other game that they were working on was. But, so that will do it for this stream. I was going to play Joy of Creation, but for me it is pretty late, so I'm not going to be playing it this stream. Next stream, since there isn't going to be anything too crazy happening, I'm probably going to be playing more Joy of Creation and reading more V.I.P. But if you enjoy the stream, you can like. If you like the content I make on my channel, you can subscribe. And yeah, if you have any suggestions for streams and games I should play on stream after this, you can leave them in the comments of this video. Okay, sorry. And yeah, that's about it. I hope that you all have an amazing rest of your week, FNAF week. And I'll see you all tomorrow in the next stream. Goodbye, everyone.